Hello, hello. Let's fly like a butterfly. All right. Before this, I was having my microphone, it seemed like it was picking up sound, which was quite interesting for me, but I was saying nothing. Um, yeah, I don't know how to take that. So we're just gonna move on and see what the message is about. And we'll go from there. We're going to start with our Smith Waite Tarot deck. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of shuffling. So I hope you're having a good day, a good week, a good month, a good year, good second, minute, millisecond. Okay. I like to shuffle and do quite a bit of shuffling. I just always feel like shuffling is a really good way to just have some type of messaging that comes through well. Especially with my microphone, I just always look at those types of things as odd. There's nothing running in my home, so I wasn't sure if it was picking up on some type of sound, but when I did a demo just to see how the sound was, there was nothing coming through the microphone. So it could just be a technical issue that isn't necessarily spiritual, because it was working fine as soon as I started. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to shuffle to pull some cards. Let me know if that is something that's happened to you, where you just kind of have these odd sound and electricity things happen around your house, and then it just reverts back to normal, like nothing happened or was happening. And any sound techs, sound engineers, whomever, you may be able to explain it away with technical terms that I just might not be aware of. Okay. Oh, wow. So that one fought to come out for sure. Okay. So I'm going to pull the very top one. We're going to let the other two lie up top. So we have King of Swords, and then we have the Lovers. King of Swords in reverse, and then the Lovers. So first card that popped up was the King of Swords in reverse. So I am all over the place. This feels like you possibly, because when I look at the King and the Queen cards, they're usually sitting very intently. This feels like with the King of Swords energy being in reverse, you're not as set and stable, especially with it being sword energy. You're probably a little flighty right now. Frenetic energy, just kind of here, there, back and forth everywhere. And it could be because you are possibly in love, or you've picked up a new project that you are in love with. Like there is a new passion project that you've taken on, and it has you moving to and fro quite a bit. Okay. This does feel like I am everywhere at once. And this hectic energy may not be it keeps you busy, but it might not be really good for your mental health or just your full physical well-being, because you want to do well. You want this so much, you wanted it, and now it's coming to fruition. Or this person has come into your life and there's someone that you've, in your words, you either prayed for or manifested or, whatever the case may be. And so now you are locked in on this person and they have you, you're probably doing a bunch of dates and doing a bunch of trips. And this could be, again, something that it makes you feel good because you're doing something you've always wanted and then you're with someone that you always wanted, but it might not be really good for your health. It's kind of like sit down a little bit, take a beat, rest when you can, instead of when you have those moments. Now you're thinking of how can I improve on this project or what's the next thing we can do. It's more so when you have those moments to rest, leave it alone. When that person is out with their friends or somewhere else, let them be. Don't call them. Don't say, hey, when you coming back, when you're going to be around, what are we doing next week or tomorrow or 2 days from now? Just kind of let the natural progression flow. Because you could be putting yourself in this space where, again, I don't think it feels bad, but it's one of those things where you could possibly be doing some type of reversible damage to your well-being, but it's just not good for you. You wake up one day, you're like, I have bags under my eyes. Or you wake up one day and you're like, ooh, the money in my bank account is draining. Or you get a call from someone, they're like, I haven't seen you in so long. Let's hang out. You've been so up under this person, or you've been so into this project. Take a break. Okay. Just kind of slow down before it gets bad, is what this feels like so far. I would like to know what this project is. Comment if you are open to it, or if you're open to talking about if this is relationship, who the individual is, how they make you feel. I like love stories. I think they're very, especially when they started platonically and then they morphed into more of a romantic situation. But for those who are in a passion project mode, if you feel comfortable talking about it, let us know. So here we have the 7 of Wands. Okay. And then we have the King, another King of Cups. So, oops. 7 of Wands in reverse. You feel comfortable, but you're on edge. It may be because if you're in the group where it's a project, you are almost in a way thinking of what happens when this doesn't work, or what if this doesn't work, or what happens when this is done, will I get something else? It's almost like why you are moving so much to and fro is because you're trying to work on this passion project and think of the next thing that you can kind of spin off. So once one thing ends, you can move on to the next. And that also is something that you're passionate about as well. You may have already brought it up and have kind of had to explain and really be in depth about why you should pursue this opportunity and why it should be something that other people should be looking towards. Okay. For a person, if this is a person, again, you may see differences. You may feel that there are some things that we may disagree, but it's not a deal breaker. Okay, especially when you spend this much time with somebody. The lovers is a tight bond. So when you spend that much time with someone, you start to notice things that you don't like, and it can lead to small disagreements where it depends on your mindset. You might look at those small disagreements as, well, this is us getting to know each other so that we know how we will deal with one another in the long run. However, well, let me put a period there. On the other hand, you could be looking at it as, oh, I'm gathering things that are possibly non-negotiables, and you know, we could possibly work through them. So it could put you on this edge mode where you're like, I might have to fight back. Could be a lot of verbal disagreements happening. But it depends on where you are with the person in the relationship. If it's something that you're building and understanding that relationships are going to be between two people who don't always agree, or if it's something that you're just taking note of and you might say, we need to just relinquish because of this, and that. And it is making you, both of the kings in here, it's making you a little uncomfortable emotionally, which I cannot say that that's good or bad. I feel like for some people, it might be good. It might really pop, that it's like digging deep into the ground and then you hit a spring. If you aren't as emotional, if you haven't always been emotionally available, and these conversations could possibly be about how you or the other person or both of you aren't as open emotionally. And that possibly could be why you're on edge. These disagreements could just be about how you both handle disagreements and the emotions that you probably unknowingly inject into these conversations. But outside of that, it's not like you're two people that cry at romantic movies, or you see those commercials where the parent that's in the army shows up to the graduation, or they meet them in the airport and they surprise them, like, y'all are, oh, that's cute, but you don't cry at that. Like, it could be something where you are, again, it depends. This is why I feel like, depending on how you're looking at the disagreements and how you both are clashing, you could be saying, I can't deal with this, or you could be so uncomfortable that you're like, actually, I really want to learn how to be way more vulnerable. And I want to be way more emotionally available. So I'm cool with this discomfort. It depends on you and the person, truly. Okay. Let's pull one more card. Actually, we'll do two more. I like the way this is going because this feels like growth. A lot of growth. Excuse me, a lot of growth. With the kings being in reverse, it feels like the facade is not going to work. You won't be able to keep up the facade you were in this relationship or in this project, and possibly because if it is a passion project, you are invested. You will go to bat for this project. Okay, you're invested in this project. It makes you uncomfortable because you want to see it through. And the thing that you are thinking about possibly spinning off, you're on edge about, okay, what's going to be next, or how can I keep this going further? What you're thinking about spinning off is it's a spin-off. It still is attached to this initial project. Or if this is a passion project that's attached to another passion project beforehand, like, you just want to keep it going. You're invested. You are invested and it shows, and you don't care because this is what you enjoy. This is what you like. Whatever it is, you're like, I love doing this. It reminds me, and I haven't watched them ever, but it reminds me of, I remember seeing a clip of the Kardashians, and it was mentioned in the clip where I think Kim said, I think the other sister said something about they don't like being famous, and she says, I do, or something like that. Don't quote me. I'm sure it's not verbatim, but it's like that. Like, I know you don't understand why I love this project so much, but I know why. I'm good at this. This hits a spot in me that you just won't understand, and that's fine. Okay, we'll put this up right. So we have another 7. We have a 7 of swords upright. Okay. So a part of this feels like, I'm thinking, when I look at the card, I'm thinking sneaky, if this is a relationship, possibly why you may be on edge. Okay. Or you could be sneaky because you yourself, again, it's still uncomfortable, and you may not necessarily be comfortable being fully vulnerable at this time. Now, sneaky has a negative connotation. I do think that this card can point to you withholding certain things about yourself because you're not sure how the other person may take it. It's almost like a delay. Like with this background being yellow, it could be like caution, not right now, not yet. But just know I may come back. And in this card, you see the person sneaking away with swords, and there's 2 there left behind. You could come back with all 5 swords and come get the 2 and just be like, look, this is what it is. XYZ, this, that, and the third. You may not have known. Okay. If this is due to a passion project, this does feel like a worry about giving too much away. It's, again, if you are looking to continue this project or spin it off, you could be thinking, I don't want to give them too much, because they could take my idea, they could take this, somebody could dupe this project, and then it's not as authentic and original as it would be under me, because I am committed to this project. It gets me in the mode. It makes me like I am tapped into this emotionally. It's probably, if you had any failures or things that didn't work, it probably impacted you deeply. You weren't able to say, oh, I'm fine. No, I'm not fine. I'm upset. And you show it. And you're like, I don't care. I love this project. You guys wouldn't understand. But this feels like I'm not going to give them too much. Easy on the information, because you just may screw me over. Okay, let's see. Ooh, okay. I like this. I like the 9 of Cups here. This feels like, in the end, despite, again, I said that with this project or with this person, there are ups and downs, but you still are enjoying it. You like it. You like them. Like, you are fulfilled. This individual is sitting very pretty, very happy. Excuse the noise in the background. But they are enjoying, you are enjoying, or they are enjoying. And if this is a project, you are enjoying it. The people around you are enjoying it. Like, there is a sense of fulfillment. Okay. Let's pull one angel answer card, shall we? And we're going to, you know what? I don't usually do this, but I'm going to take this top card. I like how it popped out. Get more information. Interesting. I like that because, again, if this is pertaining to you wanting to do something further with this passion project, okay, and you're on edge about it, you might need to understand what possibly any legal actions you can take to just secure yourself. But also, if you are seeking to expand further, get more information about how you can do that. So that way you have all your ducks in a row once this project ends and you can move on to the next. You're set. And it gives you way more credibility because people realize, oh, you've researched this. Get more information in the relationship. That's what you're doing when you're dating. You're just constantly gathering information about each other, figuring things out. And it's sometimes going to be through manners that are a little bit uncomfortable, through some uncomfortable conversations, disputes, disagreements, debates, whatever you want to call it. Okay. If this reading resonated with you, I'm glad it did. If it didn't, release it into the universe for those who it did. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.